Hi, we've got an interesting antique pistol to look at here that I got to see. The rectangular shape obviously just jumps right out, and you kind of wonder what this is if you're not into guns. This is a type of palm pistol, and it's from France. I'm going to do my best here. It's known as a Saint Etienne Gaulois pistol. Saint Etienne is actually the location. That was a manufacturing center in France, including for weapons, and Gaulois is more the region, but that's what the name of the weapon is. And you'll usually see them with kind of a number by them. So if you look this up, you'll see a number 1, a number 2, etc. There's a few in the line. This is a number 4, which as far as I could tell was the final one. And this was made from about 1890 to 1910. That's a pretty short lifespan, but that's what palm pistols enjoyed in general because they were marketed as a self-defense aid that was a lot easier to carry and hide than your typical handguns. Well, what we think of as a standard semi-automatic handgun then got developed and really supplanted these. And I think the squeeze action is really clever. It was a great design at the time. You don't have to fumble around, get your finger on the trigger, through the guard, anything like that. You pull this out of your pocket and squeeze, and that's it. You've fired. Not knowing any of the historical background, the first thing I thought when I saw this was like spy gun. Until up close the engraving gives that away. Like, that clearly would not be the case. You wouldn't have ornate decoration on a weapon meant for espionage, but the size and the way it works, that's what I thought. It's a really simple mechanism, that being a good thing, right? Less chance of breakage and whatnot. And, as you can see, you squeeze until you're out of bullets, and that's it, you're done. So here's a vintage advertisement, which I love these. And you can see how the grip was, same one I was holding. It's kind of bragging about the repetition, right? It's a repeating semi-automatic. And you can see the full name of the manufacturer up top there, which I'm absolutely not going to try to pronounce. And again, this was marketed specifically as a self-defense weapon. This is the Apache era in Paris and France. Those are the infamous street gangs. You could find them hanging out the Moulin Rouge, dancing, that kind of thing, but they're also quite dangerous. And this is just part of that late 19th century, early 20th century kind of gentlemanly obsession with street self-defense because they were prime targets. So let's look at some of the details here. Up on the side, you get actual signature. That's kind of neat. You don't see that every day on a handgun. I don't know if they all had that. I have no idea. This is looking up from the top. This is called the dust cover. So you can see that ornate engraving is just throughout. So again, this is sold to a well-heeled audience. This is certainly not the best picture, sorry, but here's the safety, right? So it's on F for fire, and up above you'll see the S for safety. It actually had a third option below, which was for disassembling the gun, and you can see kind of the track marks. So, this lever got swung. This thing didn't just sit and never ever get used at all. I'm not saying it got used in a life and death situation or anything like that. Of course, we'd have no way of knowing. So here's the actual, trigger, I guess you would say. Probably using that term incorrectly, but I don't know what else to call it. But just unusual guns, right, when you see that kind of thing. And here's the firing mechanism. Here's where you make it all happen. You squeeze there, that's going to raise up the new bullet, fire it. The empty gets ejected out of the hole on the top that we saw a second ago. Here's a final look, and you can see more of the decorative elements in there. They put some time into that, and that was because of who they were marketing it to. And you can find online some of the holsters that came with this, and they're very ornate. They look like small, ornate, rectangular purses. Kind of look like cigarette cases, fancy ones for those of you who remember what those were. And at least one I saw, comes apart in 2 pieces, and then you take the gun out, so it's not exactly a quick draw holster at all. And these are such a curiosity. They're very collectible. They sell for thousands of dollars when they come up for auction. And that is the Saint Etienne Gaulois palm pistol. Curious piece of firearm history, just a fleeting moment in their development. Thanks.